Yo, what's good, everybody? Austin here, or Luna. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, wonderful weekend. Actually, the weekend's over. As I'm making this video, it's currently Sunday. So hopefully you had a good weekend, and hopefully you did some fun stuff. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I hope next weekend's better. My weekend was okay. I spent most of it just sleeping because, your boy doesn't have the best schedule per usual. But today's story time, dude. Nonetheless, it's a good one. I hope you all enjoy it very much. And yeah, man, let's get into it. So this story time I'm about to tell is actually insane for a couple reasons. Number one, this actually happened twice to me. Yeah, this story time happened 2 different times in the same month when I lived in LA. And I'm going to talk about one of those times today. I don't think I've ever talked about the other one either. So I could make 2 stories out of this, I guess. But I'm going to tell one today. So this story time all starts off as a regular day back in 2017 when I lived in LA. Actually, you know what? The story time doesn't start as a regular day. I'm not gonna lie. Someone commented on one of my videos like a couple days ago and was like, dude, one of the stories gonna start with a non-regular day. And honestly, this actually doesn't start like a regular day. I woke up to a text from my girlfriend at the time breaking up with me. I remember I literally woke up at like 11 a.m. and usually the first thing I would do is roll over and text my girlfriend and be like, good morning, like, how are you? And I rolled over and I looked at my phone and I did that thing where like you're still tired, so you don't even know if what you're looking at's true or not. And I saw the text on my home screen, like this paragraph text from my girlfriend. And the first few sentences read like, I'm so sorry, I have to do this through text. I'm too scared to call you and say it, but I don't think this is working out. And I remember I like kind of double taked, I like blinked and like rubbed my eyes and I was like, wait, this is real. Oh, she's dumping me right now. So I literally started my day on this day getting dumped. I remember like immediately feeling like shit and just being like, damn, that sucks. But I couldn't really change it. It was my reality at the time. So all I did was reply to her and be like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way. Thanks for telling me. And, good luck. And I got up out of bed and I started taking a shower because, I thought, may as well still start my day because, at the time, I can't lie. I really just wanted to sit in bed and lay there depressed all day. But I thought, that's not healthy. So let me get up and start my day and at least live life a little bit. So I got up out of bed, took a shower. I remember it being a very depressing shower. I felt like one of those like main characters in a movie where they're like sitting there with the shower running on their head, just like letting the water drip down their face as they look up at the ceiling. I was just like standing there. And I get out of the shower and I went downstairs. And at the time I was renting a house with a few of my friends. So I came downstairs and they all could kind of see it on my face. They saw me and they were like giving me that look of like, you don't look so good. And one of my friends said something. He was like, yo, are you good, man? And I was like, yeah, I'm all right. I just woke up to getting dumped. And my friend's like, what the fuck? What happened? I was like, I don't know, man. I just woke up and she sent me a text, this big paragraph basically saying it's not working out. She doesn't feel that way anymore. And it's over, man. He's like, bro, I'm so sorry. Like, do you want to do anything today? And I was like, honestly, man, let's just do what we always do. Let's get some food, maybe like hit the mall or something. He's like, yeah, man, for sure. Anything you want. So me and my homies ended up piling into an Uber and going to this like ramen spot that we really liked and getting some ramen. And that was pretty fire. Can't lie. Definitely made me feel a little bit better. Then after that, we went to the mall, and we were at the mall for probably about 3 to 4 hours. It was a pretty long time. I ended up like going and seeing a movie while we were there. And, life, as bad as it seemed, it really wasn't going too bad. I had a good day with my friends. I got some shopping done, got some cool pants and shit that I liked. And it was kind of making me feel better, being out with my friends, out in public, living life. It makes me feel better. Anytime I'm depressed about something, and like to this day, I still stand by it. If I'm like in a bad mood, I will just literally go out with my friends and do the most simplest of tasks. And while doing those simple things, it makes me feel a lot better in the moment. It helps distract me from whatever it is bothering me, and it puts me in a better mood. So, rely on your friends. If you're ever in a bad mood, don't be afraid to rely on your friends. Let them know what's going on and do something fun, So, yeah, my day was going decent for what, had happened in the morning. So after we spent like 4 hours at the mall, we went back to the house, and this house we were renting, it was technically an Airbnb. So like we were there for like a month, but we were renting it off Airbnb. So technically it was not like our home, and we got back to the Airbnb, we walk in, and I remember I walked in and the whole house was like clean, spotless. And I was like, what the fuck? And I looked down at my phone, and as I like looked down, the Airbnb owner texted me. He's like, hey man, just want to let you know I sent the maids over, they cleaned up the whole place, let me know what you think. And I replied, and I was like, dude, it looks beautiful in here. Thank you so much. So that was cool of him. And it made, my day even better. And I remember like going upstairs in my room and laying down for a little bit because I was tired. And I fell asleep. Didn't plan on falling asleep. Was not intending on taking a nap. But I did. I fell asleep. And I remember I woke up probably about 2 hours later to someone pounding on my bedroom door. Not knocking. pounding, dude, like slamming my door. And I was like, what is it? And I hear my friend yell through the door, get up, we're being swatted. Like, that's what it sounded like, mumbling. Like, get up, we're being swatted. And I was like, what? And then I hear him say it again, we're being swatted. And I was like, are you saying swatted? So I jumped up and I ran to the door and I opened it. And he's like, dude, we're getting swatted. There's fucking police out back. And I was like, what? And immediately I'm shocked because it didn't make any sense. I didn't post anything with my address. I didn't say where I was living at the time. I didn't show any like mail or anything that could have doxed me. It just made no sense how someone could have gotten my address. I was being so careful. So it just didn't make sense. Like, how could I have gotten swatted? And I run over to the balcony and I look down from my bedroom balcony, like window area, and I see a bunch of police officers in my backyard with their flashlights on looking around the house. And I was like, oh, fuck. And my friend was right. We were being swatted. So immediately I like run downstairs and all of my friends are in the living room who are staying with me, freaking out. They're like, what the fuck's going on? Like, why are we in trouble? I was like, bro, we're getting swatted. It's just a prank. Like, people do this shit to me. Like, don't worry, we're going to be okay. And my one friend walks up to me and he like puts his hand on my shoulders and he's like, dude, you don't understand. I just smoked like 3 bowls. And I look in his eyes and his eyes are the reddest I've ever seen anybody's eyes ever. This man was more baked than fresh cookies. He was more baked than a frozen pizza. This man was fucking fried. And I was like, oh no, like this is not good. And he's like, dude, like, am I going to go to jail? And he starts crying. I was like, you're not going to go to fucking jail. We're in California. You're over 21. You have a med card. It's legal. You're literally doing a legal thing. You're fine. And he immediately like snaps out of it. And he's like, oh, okay. And he sits down. And I was like, I'm going outside. I'm talking to the police because clearly they haven't made contact with you guys yet. And I open the sliding glass door to go in my backyard. And immediately one of the cops shines his lights at me. And I throw my hands up. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. And the cop goes, what's up? And I was like, what? He goes, what's up? Can I help you? Keep in mind, they're literally in our backyard with like M4s, like walking around all like stealthy. Like literally one cop had his gun pointed at me. The other one had a flashlight on me. Like literally the most serious of situations, right? And this cop's just like, can I help you? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you guys are in my backyard. Did someone call you guys here? Like, what's going on? And this cop goes, you own this house? I was like, well, no, it's not my backyard per se, but like it's an Airbnb that I'm renting for the month. So I guess for now it is. And he goes, we got a call about a home invasion. And I was like, yeah, I figure it. It's just a prank. Like people like to swat me. I'm a YouTuber/streamer. This has happened before. It's not what you think. It's just a prank. And the cop goes, no, it's not for you. And I was like, huh? He goes, no, it's for your neighbor right there. And he points to the house behind ours. So this Airbnb we were renting, it was in the hills, so like the houses are kind of stacked on top of each other in a way. And they got a call about the house behind ours getting robbed and like invaded. And they thought that maybe the intruders left the house because they couldn't find them and they came down to our yard since the hill goes downward. And that's where they were looking for these intruders. And I was like, oh. And the cop goes, yeah, like you're not in trouble, buddy. Like you're okay, you're good. You can go back inside. We'll come knock if we need anything. And I was like, okay. So I go back inside and all my friends are looking at me like on the couch, all scared, looking like scared puppies. And my one friend, the one with the fucking super red eyes, the one that just smoked, he was like, are we good? And I was like, yeah, man, false alarm. We're not getting swatted. It's the neighbor. There was just a home invasion. And then my friend starts freaking out even more. He's like, wait, there's like intruders running around the neighborhood? Like, dude, what if they break into our house next? And I was like, dude, you smoked way too much. Like, calm the fuck down. Our house is surrounded by cops with M4s. There's no one that's going to break in right now. Like, I would love to see someone try and break in with the cops surrounding our house right now. It'd be impossible. And my friend goes, but like, what if after they leave, they break in? I'm like, dude, if you were a criminal and you just broke into somebody's home in this neighborhood and the cops were surrounding houses in the neighborhood, would it be a good idea to come back to that same neighborhood a couple hours later and try and rob another house? He's like, I don't know. I'm not a criminal. I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea, man. I don't think they're going to come back. If they do, we have a good security system. Our doors are locked. We're okay, bro. Calm down. Go upstairs. Take a shower or something. Eat something. I don't know, man. Whatever it is to calm you down. Just chill, dude. You're going to be okay. He's like, all right. And he gets up and he goes upstairs. He takes my advice. And like literally 15 seconds later, I get a pound on my front door. Loud ass knock. And my high friend comes barreling down the stairs, like freaking out. He's like, is it the cops? Is it an intruder? I'm like, dude, stay there. I go up to the front door. I open it. And it's the same police officer I actually just spoke to in the backyard. He goes, hey, me again. I was like, what's up, man? And he goes, look, do those security cameras out front, do they work? And he was referencing the security cameras that our Airbnb had. And I was like, yeah, they actually do. There's a room on the downstairs level that has a screen that has them like on a live feed all the time. I'm not sure if you can go back in the footage, but you probably can. If you want to try and mess with it, be my guest. And he goes, for sure. Can you call the owner of the house too? Like get his permission? I was like, yeah, of course. So I called the owner of the Airbnb. I was like, hey man, so the cops are here right now. They're all over the street. There was just a home invasion like right next door. And they're looking for like the people that did it. And the cops are here. They want to check our security cameras. Is that okay with you? And he's like, yeah, of course, let them in. So the cops come in. The guy I was talking to in the backyard and then some other cop, they both walk in. And me and my friend, the one that was high, follow the cops into the security camera room. And I remember after we got in the room, I looked over at my friend, the one that was stoned as fuck. And like I gave him that look of like, dude, like get out of here. Like, why are you in here? And my dumb ass stoner friend taps the cop on the shoulder while he's trying to like go back in the security footage. And the cop turns around. He's like, yeah. And my friend goes, so like, are you guys gonna like keep a cop like posted up on the street for the night? Like, I'm really worried about the invaders like coming to our house. And this cop says this same thing I said earlier. He's like, look, usually in these kind of situations, the criminals, the home invaders, the burglars, whatever you want to call them, they don't usually come back to the same neighborhood they just committed a crime in and try and do another one the same night. So I think you're fine, but don't worry. We're going to have units going around the area for quite a while. You're going to be okay. And my friend's like, I don't want to like get beat up or like robbed. And the cop goes, are you a little bit toasted tonight? I smell a little something. Are you a little bit high? And I start laughing my ass off, and so does the cop. And my friend goes, what? No. Why do you say that? And the cop goes, I don't know. I'm smelling something. Smells familiar. And my friend's like, no. And the other cop right next to him goes, hey, buddy. It's legal here, remember? And my friend's like, I know. And I was like, yeah, sorry guys. Like he literally has his med card. He's allowed to smoke. He's over 21, but for some reason, he still thinks that we're in some other state where it's not legal. And the cop's like, yeah, we're not here to bust you for weed, buddy. Like definitely not what we're here to do. Don't worry. And they go back to like looking at the security footage. And they actually ended up finding footage of the intruder or whatever. It was just one intruder. They only really caught like a quick glimpse of him. And you couldn't really see his face because he had his hood up and a mask, but it was still useful. They had a description of like what his, body proportions looked like and what he was wearing. And I remember like the dude immediately got on his radio and started like calling someone in and like talking to him. And yeah, they were like, getting pretty serious. And after that, they thanked us for letting us look. And they like exported a copy, I think, to like their phone or like whatever the fuck. And they left. And I remember after they left, they were still like in the street and like looking around and like, walking around the houses and stuff. And the whole time my homie, the stoned one, is just on the couch tweaking the fuck out. And I was like, dude, what is going on? Like, what's wrong now? He's like, bro, just like, I don't know. Like, I'm scared. And I was like, of what? He's like, I just don't like being surrounded by police. And like, like, I'm afraid those like intruders are going to come back. And I was like, dude, it was one intruder and we're fine. Calm down. So anyway, about an hour later, he relaxes a little bit. He comes down from his paranoid high. The cops end up mostly leaving. I think I only saw like one car on the street after this. And we're all just kind of like chilling, right? We start getting a little bit hungry. So I ordered pizza. I ordered like Domino's for us, right? And like an hour later, somehow the pizza guy like went the wrong way and they ended up going into our backyard. And he like knocked on the sliding glass door. And my friends all like shit themselves immediately. Me too, honestly, me included. Like I immediately freaked out because I thought that was the intruder, like the home invader. And I realized, oh shit, it's just the Domino's guy in our backyard for some reason. And I go up and I open the sliding glass door and I was like, why are you in my backyard? And he's like, my bad, I couldn't find the front door. I was like, okay. He like hands me the pizza and I tip him and he walks away. And I turn around and I look at my friend and I was like, bro, you and that Domino's driver were both stoned tonight or something. Because like, how do you not find a front door? And he starts laughing and everyone starts laughing. And the rest of that night was actually very chill. And fast forward to the next day, I wake up. First of all, I wake up to a text from my girlfriend trying to get back together. That was a wild start to the day. Didn't do it, by the way. Got up and I get a text from the Airbnb owner like an hour later saying they caught the guy, the intruder that like broke into the house above. He got caught. So that was good news. And I went downstairs and I saw my friend who was high the night before on the couch and he wasn't high this time. And I was like, hey dude, guess what? They caught the intruder. He goes, really? I was like, yeah. He goes, bro, speaking of that, like I was tweaking last night, man. Like my bad. Like I would have never acted like that. I just smoked way too much. I was way too like out of it. I was like, bro, I know. It's okay. And yeah, the rest of that day / week, or whatever you want to call it, was pretty normal, pretty good, and honestly, awesome. So in the end, I'd say it was a pretty happy ending. The intruder got caught. My paranoid friend, he stopped being paranoid and no one broke into our house, so that was good. We got some pizza, and we had a pretty interesting night. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the story of how I thought I was getting swatted, and it wasn't what I thought. And it was just an eventful night, to say the least. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace.